You falling asleep, hon?
No,
All right, well, we're live.
All right,
Hey.
all right. Uh-huh.
Let me just see make sure everything is kosher. There we are live. All right, Will, welcome everyone.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for this beautiful opportunity to get to play together and take this wonderful journey together.
Yes, we do have, and we do have a question that was sent to us via email. If anyone, when we're on live, you can type in your questions.
here's what I found.
Is that you, Will?
Yeah, I don't know what this Siri thinks. I guess she's as lonely and wants attention.
So we do have one question that was sent to us. I'm just about to open it.
All righty.
Dear William, why do spiritual masters say, without no thought, you cannot become one with Source to be enlightened?
Because many masters that have been on this planet, many have shared, they were so identified, let's put it that way, with the mind, the body, the world, the disciplines. And so many were so focused. It's interesting because have you ever played with like the ego attempting to address the ego? It's called internalized struggles. Now, this is where we take it beyond these masters' level of evolution, where they were so identified with poverty consciousness, so identified with not being tempted or not buying into temptations of the flesh, sex, power, greed, in all these different levels of creation. They were in a constant construct where they were doing their best with all that was available at that time to supersede and overcome the mental, emotional identities. So this is where we say, okay, you know what, all is well. And they were very identified with overcoming all of the solar plexus down stuff, like sex, power, greed, carnality, the one where the most toys win, and all the different emotional power games. Now, when we come back to you, which this is all about you, we come back now to start really, really addressing, you, your higher levels, you as creator, to where now let's all have a thought. It can be as positively charged, negatively charged. A thought's just a thought until you give it power. Now, let's all have a thought for a moment, whatever it may be for you. And I want you to feel it. Because every thought, especially if we're playing with happy or sad thoughts, I want you to feel how both of them have weight. Many masters for eons, it's been so much about disciplining yourself, walking through a certain discipline, whether it be your Buddha potential or Christianity, Sananda left the planet, died for my sins, blah, 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 and all the guilt. We can go into Hinduism, Muslimism, and everything around that, Catholicism. It's all pretty much one and the same. That's even what creates battles between the religions that have been created. I was like where the original wars first took place. They were religious battles because your beliefs are different than my beliefs. Now, Any way we look at it, I want you to now welcome in the rest of yourself. Just put a switch on your sternum, turn on the light switch to where your whole body turns into a beautiful silhouette of light. It's not male, it's not female. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not pretty, it's not ugly, it's not beautiful, it's not horrendous. It's not young, it's not old. You know, all these traps based on polarities that, once again, the mental emotional level has bought into. So right now, let's just take a breath. There's a saying, let's all be and become. Being has nothing to do with thought. It's a feeling. It's an embodiment. It's a presence. There's no mind involved. No thought forms involved. No beliefs involved. Right here, literally, this is the key to letting your body regenerate, your life to open up within and through all the realms of creation and the manifest realms. It's the key of your pathway home, which is the heart. Just take another breath in through the nose, down through below your navel, and out through your mouth. Let's do it about 5 times. Becoming right here, right now, into your presence. Because like I say, come to the now on or not on, but in reality, when I bring up the now, it's still keeping your mind involved. So let's just right here, be in your presence and be your presence. Nice deep sigh. Now, it's interesting, right? Positive thoughts, they feel better than negative thoughts. And that just has to do with the vibrational frequencies in megahertz of light. But right now, as you are light, let's just be light, be that light, which is love and light, which is creator as a whole. Right now, isn't it awesome to have no polarities? Isn't it awesome right now to have no dualities? Isn't it awesome right now to start experiencing you? Not male, not female, not good, not bad, not worthy, not unworthy, not good enough, not ungood enough. All these dualistic tormentors of the mind. But right now, isn't it awesome to have no tormentors? Now, many of the other masters, they'll share with you, well, watch your thoughts. Well, I differ from that because you have a life. And to sit back and watch each and every thought that spirals around you is going to absolutely drive you batty. You're going to starve to death. You're going to be sitting there so focused on watching your thoughts. So right now, let's feel you again, because you are a love, which even goes beyond the subconscious. But that's why when you're playing with kinesthetics, I think I'm good, I feel I'm good. Now, both of those are very limiting, but the feel is the subconscious. The think is the conscious. So right now let's just go into you beyond the subconscious. We have nothing driving the ship. No past patterns, no past parallels, no past incarnational streams, dimensional particles, or anything. Just right here, right now. Experiencing you. Now, I want you to have a thought, because you'll receive a thought. It'll be something like this. Well, Michael, would you enjoy this? Michael, would you enjoy that? Michael, would you love to pick up your body and take it over there? Michael, would you love to connect with whomever, whatever? Michael, why don't we look at making that phone call that was on your to-do list? But let's take another breath. Let's see where we're at without getting caught up with the other dear one on the other line. Let's see what happens when we don't get caught up with all the pretenses, all the mask, all the falsivities that dear ones think they want you to be, that you're trying to live up to being because of trying to play a guessing game of thinking that's what they want. What about now? We just hop on the phone. How you doing? And whatever the topic may be, let's snip it, adjust it, go beyond it. Not justifying yourself. We're not calling anyone or anything to rationalize your state of being. We're feeling you, and we can go to a point where I have big guns, which is the faster level of myself. Speak to me, serve me, and journey me, fully incarnate within me. Now we take a breath. And no pressure whatsoever. Now let's just let flow through the lips, whatever is flowing through the lips. It's pretty simple, isn't it?
It is, William. Thank you. Our next question is, recently my lungs have become very sensitive to the damp, cold weather. I wonder if the key is to light the lungs up to such a degree they can be healthy and warm in any and all environments. Is this possible?
Totally. Now, I would always say yes. Take a teddy bear or put your body in the palm of your hand. Put your other hand over it. Let's welcome in the highest level of vibrational frequencies and megahertz of light, that it would be in your highest and best good, and for the highest best good of all concerned as well. Now let's just let all this light run through your whole body, through the hands, into the rest of your body right here. Let's just turn on the light switch again, turn to where your whole body, it's a silhouette of light. I say the whole body, not just the lungs. Now, this raises a interesting question, though, which makes me ask, your body is made and is created for every and any weather pattern on the planet. You can even go to up in the mountains in Switzerland, all the way to Mexico, to the US, to Germany, on and on. You'll see Greece, Belgium, Iran, and everything like that. You'll see how magically the bodies have changed molecularly and genetically, or let's say biologically, to accommodate the weather. Now, this is where it does make me ask myself this interesting question. Whether it's the hot, whether it's the cold, whether it's rain, whether it's snow, hail, whatever. Now, let's just step back for a moment. Let's take a breath. Let's all look at what energy, what judgment, what power are we giving something that really has no power outside of yourself, to let it have an effect over your physical optimum health and well-being and homeostasis. If it's a dreary day, yes, this is a fun one, whether it's sunny, dreary, snowing, hail, rain, tornadoes. Is it affecting how you feel in your body, your mood? Is it having enough power to have you go into action, reaction mode? Because I'm looking at the body here and how overwhelmed it's becoming. And as it's becoming overwhelmed, it's where we step back, we take a breath. Say, look, body, it's water. Look, body, it's humidity. Look, body, it's just humid heat or dry heat, whatever it is. But the part I love about the body is how the body doesn't have an opinion. It's all in the head.
Mm.
And then if it makes you feel better, great. Get a dehumidifier, whatever. Burn peppermint essential oil as well. It's alternating between peppermint and eucalyptus, and watch how quick your lungs regenerate and heal up. And then constantly, this goes for everyone. Just take a breath, do a body scan, especially right here in your diaphragm. Is it relaxed when you take a breath? Is it tightening up and then releasing as you exhale? Not being stuck tight, not being stuck loose. Because this is where, when it starts to get locked up like that, it starts pushing underneath the rib cage, which pushes on the lungs to where the lungs are not going to get a full breath, number one. Number two, it also pushes the vital organs in the rib cage, which also puts pressure on your pericardium, the sac that envelopes the heart. There's a lot of factors here. And then standing up, putting your feet shoulder width, gently bending your knees, torso straight up and down, taking a breath. And on the exhale, just letting all your weight go into your feet. There's another part where this one's concerned about letting all the lower chakra level vortexes merge with the upper ones, but letting the body come into optimum health and well-being and homeostasis once again.
Wonderful. William, you recommended recently changing our daily routines, even slightly. Would you speak more about why this is beneficial?
Yes. So we get up in the morning or the evening or the afternoon, whatever it may be for you. You get up, you use the restroom, you have your beverage of choice, you get ready for the day, you hop in the shower, shave, whatever it may be for you. Then you get going, and it's interesting because you start to watch already where we're so easy for the mind to go into tunnel vision. And the rest is wash, rinse, repeat. Now, you start to become used to that. It starts to become what you would call your hypothetical norm. So now, in the norm, it's not good, bad, or indifferent, but then the norm becomes bigger as a comfort zone. And then we get into pain is bad, comfort is good, the point of life is to be undisturbed. And before you know it, you're in tunnel vision mode, like you're on, what is it, like the little rat on the wheel, okay, or hamster, your call. Now from here, let's step out of that for a moment, because I want you to be aware when we're doing all that, it's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's not something wrong, something right. What it is, though, is that it puts you in a state of watch, rinse, repeat to where you start missing out on life. Now, it becomes like bricks around the tunnel vision, cement, iron, wrought iron, barbed wire. And you can notice when something's thrown off, a cog is thrown to the wheel, you'll notice how instantaneously you go into emotional dyslexia, you start acting out because something new and different just interrupted your tunnel vision. It creates anxiety in the body at that point because you're so stuck in a rigid tunnel vision to where now, I'm not asking we throw up our schedule, walk out in the middle of the desert naked, or unless it costs you. I mean, I'm not opposed to anything, but from here, where we step back for a moment, we take a breath, because I want you to look at how literal, factual, all that tunnel vision and wash, rinse, repeat has even affected your optimum health and well-being. Because if I'm gonna have a sick day at work, I don't want to do it laying in bed all day. I want to do it because I'm on a cruise to the Bahamas. Now, this is where we give ourselves permission to, great, time for a vacation, time to do something different. Not because your body is shutting down due to the tunnel vision, because it's interesting, because Many, when they wake up, they want to change profession. Everyone, one of their brother wants to be a psychic, a healer, or whatever, whatever. Let's skip all that for a minute. Because if everyone did that, who's going to take care of the plumbing? Who's going to be at the bank when you go to make a deposit? All the workers would be gone and they would probably be putting your money in their hand doing energy work, which is great. But I want to also be very practical. It's so important that we all remember we're waking up right where we're at. We're waking up from emotion. We're waking up from projection, perception, internalization. We're waking up from pain, punishment, torment. We're waking up from doing everything by the book, the way that we were taught to do it by the book, which is basically mimicking someone else's journey and all the lineage. We're waking up to you now. We're waking up from genetics. We're waking up from pain and torment. Pain and torment, physical, whatever, but it's the biggest ones that hurt you the most are emotional, based once again on judgment. Judgment's made, the energy gets built up, and it's called emotion. Now, as we go further into this, if we wake up in the morning, noon, night, whether you're swing shift or whatever you're doing at your job, you know, it's interesting how, okay, let's wake up. Let's open our arms, welcome in all the gifts this day has to offer. Now, if normally we're going to go to make coffee, great. You know what? Let's go out and get the paper first. Let's take our shower right when you get up, or if you do that every day, do something different. What starts to happen without going into hyper anxiety shock or anything like that, you start to notice when you start to do things different, you're creating openings for more to come into your life stream of enjoyment, including more easier, faster energy and resiliency and rebuilding in your body.
Thanks, Will.
Anytime, buddy.
There's two questions about dementia.
Okay.
One is, my mother has dementia. How best can we assist and support her?
Number one is patience, compassion, and understanding. Number two, with patience, compassion, and understanding, and I want to add holding her, embracing her, and if she is losing her grip, if she's at the point where she's forgetting who she is, if she's forgetting about where she's at or where she's been, you know, let's not argue with her. Let's say, okay, you know, who do you want to be today? Let's do things, because you got to remember, dear ones go here. It can be Alzheimer's, it can be dementia, it can be psychosis, you know, whatever it may be. They're going through all these different life reviews. And then it's interesting, there's all this stuff within themselves, within their sub-psyche, their dimensional planes of all these scenarios that they've never quite reached a resolution with. So one minute, you're sitting there and you may watch this dear one like go in reverse to be a 4-year-old, 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 9-year-old. And what happens is that they're reliving these situations. They're becoming more open, more receptive, more astute to being able to, okay, now they're back in the little girl mode and they're trying to heal it up, clear it up before they fully either step off the planet or before they fully rejuvenate and go into a new beginning. Now, many I've seen go into extreme anger. Now, anger is kind of like just a cloud, but there's all these dimensional planes, but all these experiences that they've still been, their soul level still been scattered within as soul fragmentation, that they're reliving this, they're reliving that. They go into offense, defense, and many of them, I mean, anger as a whole, I don't care what emotion as a whole, it's all based in fear
Mm.
of being emanating or reacting. Now, it's interesting or internalizing because now it's coming up in waves because their egos are being stripped down. Therefore, their body goes through changes. Therefore, and this is where it becomes really odd, Michael, because this is where you can watch them go all these different places. But the interesting part, like I've shared many times, any and every ailment is healable. But there are dear brothers that are not healable. And it's not because they're victimized, whatever. It's just that they're just not willing to let go. In this case, it could be anger, guilt, whatever, that where they're still so identified with it, not from lack of the universe assisting them, but they're just, nope, the sky's still green. Nope, it's purple with paisleys. Nope. And where they hold on to it and they do it out of fear, because if you strip it all down, doesn't it come to when you're listening to them, even asking themselves, who will I be without this?
Mm.
And they get afraid of that. That's why so many leave the planet after they start retirement, because they perceive they're purposeless. No, they're just moving into gathering another purpose, but more enjoyment at the same time.
So what is dementia? How does it come about in someone? Do they start to shut down in some way?
Well, there's many different directions here. One, same with Alzheimer's. The biggest thing is too many metals in the body that have gone to the brain. And you'll notice that's why, so much has changed, blah, blah, blah. But can you imagine, and I mean like packaging and stuff like that, where there's so much metal, especially in your parents' generation, the generation before them and beyond, how much food has been stored in cans, metal cans, aluminum cans. And what happens to get that many metals in your system? Many would eat off frying pans and all this stuff, having no clue that every time they use it, it's putting metal into their food. Many will drink out of a soda can. Many will do anything and everything, but yet it's still, canned peas, canned veggies, canned chicken, whatever, canned tuna, on and on and on. It just adds on and adds on to metals being stored in the body, in this case, all the way up into the brain, and the brain going into overload. Now, normally, if cans were the only thing around, your body would be fine with it because your body would pass it through, knowing that, okay, this is what we have available. Now, now there's plastics, now there's like all this ergonomic stuff and all that fun stuff, but stuff that doesn't so readily leach into your sustenance. Now, that's just one part. When I ask why the body doesn't pass it through, that's when we start getting into their issues.
Okay. Okay. And I had heard also from our naturopathic doctor that I go to that one of the aspects that they assist kids with ADHD is detoxing them from metals. Is that?
Absolutely. Because you got to remember, personally, I'm not pro or con because I know you can repolarize anything and everything. But in this case, it's like doing a brain cleanse, a body cleanse, a liver cleanse. There's from 1-800 Herb Doc, Richard Schultz, he has a cleanse for pretty much everything. And it's, I remember doing it after I got out of the wheelchair, got rid of the pain pump and all of that. I did a 5-day detox. Now, I would encourage it. It's always a win-win. But from here, you look at this kind of thing, like, okay, let's first look at the symptomology. Let's find the major area that's actually the area with creating the cause of what's going on. And where this little one's concerned, I would encourage doing a liver gallbladder cleanse, kidney cleanse, then colon cleanse. Basically, you want to do the colon first, so you have a clean area for everything to pass through. And then making your way, at that point, that's where I think I would probably, I would, from what's presenting, that's where I would start refocusing on the brain, fish oil, magnesium, and calcium. One without the other, the body's not really going to absorb to its fullest potential. So you want a CalMag, or what is it, calcium citrate, that has magnesium in it. And these are things that, those are tools of rebuilding the body and the brain.
Mm.
And it's so cool because, you have, let's say where the kid's concerned. I mean, you don't want to make it, that's kind of the catch, because doing all this, we don't want to create food issues. But when we have more tuna fish, things like that like fresh, from out of the ocean kind of thing, because even in the ocean, the fishes release a different chemical in their brain and their body than when they're grown in a farm. Which I'm still looking for a salmon farm, because they say farm raised, and it's like I've never seen a salmon running across a pasture in my life. I want to, still looking for it, but having fun with it as well.
And to finish off, William, there's 2 questions about emotion and judgment.
Yeah.
Is every emotion attached to a certain kind of judgment, or it wouldn't exist?
Yes. Now, let me give you an example. Today, the sun's shining, there's been butterflies and little bees buzzing around the flowers, pollinating, and everything is great. The wind's blowing, the lavender I could smell in my hair, and whatever, right? Sitting on having a picnic. And I'm so happy. The beloved of my heart is here. We're laughing, telling jokes, just really having a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden, whether it be a storm cloud and lightning hits, or maybe it's you get a phone call from your mother or your mother-in-law, and then thud. Now, that I want you to be aware of. One part you were happy in, you get that phone call, and now you're not happy. That is all based in judgment and emotion. Like, you're out there, and that's what I find interesting about happiness. Happiness, I would have you ask yourself, what has had the power to take that happiness away from you? Is it the phone call? Is it you got home and Rover or urinated on the sofa? I mean, what has the power and has had the power to take now that happiness, and now, because we go beyond happiness, we're going into joyfulness, where you're immune to whatever's going on around, because you start to wake up and realize, it's going on around there, but no, it has nothing to do with me. And then from there, happiness is an emotion. Joy's not, but happiness is. No one has ever left the planet because they were too joyful. And it's humorous, right? No one's ever left the planet and required psychiatric drugs because they love too much. Now you get into all the emotional states. okay, happy, sad, blah, because eventually happy, sad is going to bring you into numbness. Now, you go into numbness and many get confused or misperceive numbness for neutrality. They're total different universes. Numbness is what happens when you've had so much pain, you just turn off your ability to experience emotion or really anything. That's going numb. Love is where you're more heightenedly aware, heightenedly sensitive, and you're sensitive to love, you're sensitive to light beingness, vibrancy, joyfulness, and blissfulness, but you're not holding back, anticipating the phone call, the phone to ring, or someone to show up at your door, or whatever. There's no backlog back here of what if. Because even what ifs, I find it interesting because it's all like that's all a control game. And you go into worry and things like this. But it's kind of ironic, you go into worry, then that creates more anxiety. The anxiety grows. So you take a Xanax, and then you start worrying about taking too much Xanax, which takes you all the way back to the worry train, to worrying about anything and everything that you do not have control over. And funniest thing, worrying about things that aren't even real.
William, so much. Thank you. Thank you
Oh,
for
you
this
too, buddy.
time. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful December, and we'll be on again a little bit before Christmas. Check our flyers to see the announcements of the date. We're back here a little before Christmas on YouTube Live with William Linville.
And Merry Christmas almost, and we sure love you. Namaste.